welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be how to get rid of and conceal bags and dark circles under your eyes. So if you're interested in see how I conceal that, please with the camera in how close or how far back I need to be. But hopefully this, where I have the camera now, is pretty clear for you to see what I'm going to do. So as you can see, I have dark circles under my eyes. So I'm well rested. I had a great night's sleep, but it appears as if I'm tired or sluggish or sleepy or something like that. Bags under your eyes and dark circles usually give off that appearance. So what I try to do to keep myself looking fresh-faced and alert, I try to conceal the dark circles as much as I can. So this is pretty much going to be my routine of how I would normally every day conceal my dark circles. So what I'm going to do is just work on this eye over here and leave this eye alone so that you can see the differences between the two. I'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I will do is use some form of eye cream on my eye, and that helps to depuff my under eye. So today I'm going to be using Derma Ease Firming Eye Lift. So hopefully you can see this. This is just a sample travel size of it. I just put a small amount. And I just dab it in. So I just take my finger and I dab it into my under eye. I don't push hard and I don't like go back and forth. I just simply dab it into the skin. And then I'll do a little bit on the top of my eyes as well. A minute or two to actually dry up. So you don't want to touch it or do anything on that area until the product has been completely absorbed by your skin and that area is dry. It has been about 2 to 3 minutes and that has completely dried up, and now I can move on to my next step. So what I like to do is first color correct. So color correcting is going to help you go ahead and minimize that appearance of any darkness or any imperfections. Color correcting works great for dark circles as well as any other imperfections that you have on your skin that you want to conceal and you just want to diffuse the color. I actually use these two products here. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is that orange color for color correcting. And then I also use my NYX Dark Circles Concealer and Corrector, and this is going to be in the color medium. So hopefully you can see that. So this is what I've been using all summer long because when I'm darker, this works best. And then as I lighten up heading towards fall and winter, I use a lighter peachy shade. So I think peach, anything that as long as it's orange or a peachy color, is going to work, especially for any type of dark imperfections. And you can either do this one or two ways. You can either just use your fingers to apply it, or you can use a concealer brush. So what I'm going to use is just my fingers. I'm just going to rub it in here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pat the product onto my dark circles. So just take a disposable makeup sponge and just kind of blend out the edges by just patting, just to blend. What I'm going to do is use concealer on top of that. And so I usually have two different ones that I use. that I just gravitate towards. You just want to pick a concealer with the consistency that you like. When I'm trying to conceal the dark circles or any bags under my eyes, I like to use a thicker consistency concealer. So I use my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is in the color, what is it? Warm Honey. So I only use just a little bit of this if I'm going to use it, and then my other backup, I have really fallen in love with this concealer. This is not as thick. This is the Kat Von D concealer, and this is in the shade Warm D33. So this is more of a creamier, kind of watery consistency. So what I like to do is I like to apply the thicker first and then cover up with this one. So you can use any concealer that you have in your makeup kit. I would just suggest using something with a thicker consistency to really conceal the dark circles and the bags, and then on top of that use a more creamier one. So I'm only applying a very small amount of this concealer. We're going to add just a few dabs of it. And again, I'm going to use my finger just to blend that out. And a little goes a long way. So again, I'm using those same, just dabbing, just to work it into the skin. And just really working that in there. And I always use a shade that is 1 to 2 lighter than my complexion, or 1 to 2 shades lighter than my foundation that I'm going to use. And I'm bringing it down just a little below where the darkness ends. And so before I add my second layer, I'm just going to use that same makeup sponge, and I'm just going to diffuse the edges. I'm being very gentle when I'm doing this. I'm not pressing too hard, just doing a little bit, just to diffuse the edges again. As you can see, it is really making a difference when you look at this eye versus this one. You can still see, you know, the brightness. You can see that the darkness has been concealed and that the bags don't look as heavy. So after I blend that out, I'm going to go on top with my creamier concealer, and this shade is actually, I would say, 1 shade darker than this one. So this is getting me closer back to the color of my actual foundation. Because my goal right now is really not to highlight, it's just to conceal. And highlight kind of inadvertently happens because the shade is a bit lighter, which is always good because right here is where all of the light hits your face. So to brighten that area is a good thing. So now I'm just going to dab on some of this. As you can see, it is darker. And this is where you can put a little bit more than all of the other things I've used. So I'm actually going to put a lot of this on. And again, I'm just using that dabbing motion to apply it. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And now I'm going to use my sponge to blend this in. Between the 2 eyes again, we're getting there, we're almost done. And so I'm also going to smile just so you can see the differences too. Now that puffiness is diffused a little bit better over here than over here. And so last but not least, you don't want your concealer to crease, so I'm going to go ahead and set that with setting powder. Okay, so I usually have 2 different setting powders that I choose from, just depending on what look I'm going for. I have my Sasha Buttercup setting powder. I love this stuff. It has a really satin, like velvety finish to it. And I have my Derma Blend Loose Setting Powder as well. This one is a translucent setting powder, so it looks white, but it's actually translucent. And this one actually has color in it. It has that yellow tone. So definitely when I'm trying to brighten the area, I will use this. Or if I'm not trying to brighten that area, I will use this. So I'm just gonna use the translucent one just for now. And I'm gonna use a clean, disposable makeup sponge. And I'm just going to dip the sponge into the setting powder. And I'm just going to pack on quite a bit of this. I'm just going to put it all over the areas that I applied concealer. And this will set that and not have it crease or have it go anywhere. And you don't have to worry about any type of flashback with this because it is translucent. I'm just going to use a large, fluffy, clean brush. And I'm just going to brush away the excess product. And so that is the finished product. So you see the side that I did not touch as compared to the side that I did all that to, and you can definitely see the difference. I always like to blend out the edges of everything that I'm using, and I try to smooth it out as best as possible. If I don't want to wear foundation, I still can do that process to conceal the dark circles, and I can go out just like this, and I don't have to worry about adding on foundation because it has literally blended with my skin and it's blended out to my complexion. So I really don't have to add it, so you don't have to feel compelled to add it as well. But if you want to, once that part is done, then you would just go ahead and put on your foundation. Make sure you pay attention to the areas around the edges, make sure everything is blended so it's all smooth. So again, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope I was able to help you all with sharing my routine. This is how I do it. If you have a way that you do it that works really well, go ahead and comment below. I would love to try out your method. I'm still learning myself. And as always, if you have not subscribed, please do. I would love to have you join the family. And as always, guys, don't forget to stay cool and stay safe.